hand up.
Hello!
Hello?
Look at my waveform, it's so much better. Every time we start a video with you and I'm gonna comment on the waveforms.
There's no video on this, is there?
Well,
I didn't brush my hair.
I have to put a picture up or something.
Oh.
This podcast is going to be about Comic-Con.
Which I have not followed at all and know nothing about, so I will be giving my opinions as if I know everything.
You already do that. I really hope they heard that. That's great if they did. Look at that. I think that might be the hit. Anyway, I can edit that out. Don't worry. I probably won't though.
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con.
Didn't mean to knock that out of your head.
So, what happened at Comic-Con that you know of?
The only thing I know of, I thought there were some complaints of sexual harassment from some ladies.
Really?
That's the only headline I've seen. I know Craig
did
Ferguson,
not see anything from that.
but I think that happens every year.
Oh, well then, who cares?
That people feel entitled to grab the girls and stuff, and they should not be doing that.
Why would they grab the girls? I mean, hit on them, sure, but grab them?
Some dudes are jerks.
God.
Some dudes feel entitled to just grab. It's wrong.
I wanted to have this, like, laid-back podcast and stuff, and then you come in with, like...
Nope, we're here to...
Sexual harassment!
Yeah, well, we're here to defend women for the rest of the hour.
No, God, no.
No.
This is a man podcast.
Yeah, well...
Boobies.
You're going to be grounded.
I hope I'm not. Yeah, this is my father, by the way. I'm Dylan.
Hi, I'm Dad.
We kind of have to introduce ourselves every podcast in case it's a newcomer. So anyway, so you've heard about sexual harassment. This is going to show totally what we both look for.
Well, it's just all I've seen. I saw that...
you look for, like...
Can I finish my sentence? I saw that Craig Ferguson hosted a panel with the Game of Thrones people and also introduced a panel for Jamie Savage... or Adam Savage, sorry. Jamie Heineman was not there. I combined them into one Mythbuster.
Adam Savage dressed up as what's his face?
The guy without his face.
I get it. Anyway, John Hurt from Alien. He had the spacesuit on and then a facehugger mask on. Every year he dresses up as something that covers up his face so he can walk the floor.
Not John Hurt, Adam Savage.
Yeah. No one cares about John Hurt anymore. He hasn't been in anything in like 10 years. Aside from Harry Potter.
Okay, all the shitty opinions are going to be coming from Dylan.
Hey, shut up. Okay, so since the big thing that we're gonna end up talking about, not me, just both of us, I swear, is gonna be Legendary's panel because awesomeness came from that. Pure joy came from that. So what I'm just gonna go through a few things quickly. Deadpool movie, no one cares. Deadpool movie test footage has been leaked around the internet. It supposedly came from Comic-Con. Dad didn't see it. I did. It was awesome. It captured the essence of Deadpool. It was all CGI, and Ryan Reynolds actually played the voice. The thing that bothers me is that no one will buy the rights to... Not buy the rights, but no one will pick up the movie, but everyone who has been tied to the movie has said that it is one of the best things they've ever read. Like, funniest things they've ever read. Look, Ryan Reynolds is like, this is awesome. The writers, of course they're going to say it's awesome. They wrote it. Like,
well, some writers won't say that about their own work, especially if other writers get a hold of it.
Producers have said
so that's a good thing that
really good.
Everybody's solid on it and likes it. It's bad because you probably got some studio executive that, you know, so people will never understand this. They always think anything with more than one overlying plot line is going to be too complicated for their audience. But from what it sounds like, this is a really meta kind of movie, and it would be really interesting. The
problem that I keep on hearing is that...
So why don't you give the premise of what you've heard the movie is?
Well, it's test footage. Let me say real quickly what the problem may actually be.
But you've discussed before.
Okay,
what
shut up. Let me say
of the movie is.
Okay, so one of the things that I keep on hearing from coming around about why the movie won't get picked up is that the studios want it to be PG-13, but the script is R-rated. So it's like they're trying to get it to be R, but the studios need it to be PG-13 for some reason. More ticket sales, of course, but still, 22 Jump Street is on the Teen Choice Awards, but it's like, R-rated, so I don't see why that would stop any comic book teen fan from going to see the movie.
And honestly, so much of the comic book audience now is there's a huge portion of it that's my age, that never really stopped collecting, that are seasoned, and want to pass it on to the younger generation, but maybe want to go see a movie without some punk tagging along. But anyway. The movie audience, the comic book audience, and the audience that's into this, I think the comic books aren't kid things anymore. If you look at the covers, if you read about the material, it's gruesome enough, it's violent enough, it's complex enough. There's enough variety out there for an R-rated movie that could do well.
Yeah, but since it's Deadpool, he was in the X-Men Origins movie, and that was PG-13. Kids saw it, and since it's a mysterious dude with swords for hands in the Origins movie, kids thought it was awesome. So
is it going to be that Deadpool, or are they rebooting the Deadpool with...
Let me say what I heard from a couple weeks before Comic-Con. I heard someone say that the premise for the movie was going to be Deadpool in the comic book universe hears about the Deadpool in the movie universe and is upset because of how much it sucked. And so he goes into the movie universe and he's going to try to hunt down and kill that Deadpool.
Okay, I like it.
But
now, can you sustain a 90-minute movie on that? I mean, that sounds like something. It could be that could be funny and hold tension and stuff. For
you could have the first act be like
an hour,
comic book Deadpool. Second act be Deadpool exploring this movie universe. You have funny haha jokes with Wolverine and other X-Men characters, and why are you talking to no one, because it's fourth wall jokes because it's Deadpool. And then the third act be just a half hour of action between,
because that's something that happens in the comic book, is that Deadpool breaks the fourth wall and addresses the audience, or lets them in on something that an aside that is happening in the story, or his thoughts, or whatever.
And that's what this test footage totally had down.
So this is like a live action version of the comic book.
I would be fine if they did exactly what I just said.
Yeah.
Of course I'd be fine if they did what I said. I want to see it. That's why I said it. There was a trailer for Horns released. I'm moving on from Deadpool now.
Go on.
Again, Dad has not seen any of these things.
I've seen the pictures of Daniel Radcliffe.
Okay. The pictures are
with horns.
He looks pretty cool and stuff. Whatever. It's
and
the Harry Potter kid. But the trailer, Daniel Radcliffe, first off, sounds American. He sounds he sounds like Midwestern American, or wherever that area of the continent is.
Where is he supposed to be from?
I have no clue. I haven't read the book.
Well, then how do you know where it's supposed to be?
Because that's what it sounds like. He sounds like us, Midwestern. Except he didn't say Warsh.
Well, so okay.
But
so he's not a complete hick. He's just sort of flavored by the land.
Sure. No, it's just like a regular voice. It's not British. It's
not British. It's normal.
It's not New Yorker. It's not Jersey. It's not Southern Texan. There are children outside having fun. How dare they? Anyway.
Focus.
How dare they? They must die.
Look at the pretty little white microphone. Focus.
It's called a snowball
Daniel
mic.
Radcliffe. Go on.
I'm not gay, I swear.
Horns, deal with the devil, go.
Is it really a deal with the devil?
I don't know.
Because the trailer doesn't say anything about deal with the devil.
I'm assuming it's some kind of demonic thing if he's got horns.
So, the trailer is Daniel Radcliffe is being blamed for murdering his girlfriend. And he's like, I didn't do it. And then, turns out, the trailer suggests that he may have been an alcoholic or something. And so he'll go into these blind sprees or something. And one morning he wakes up and he's like rubbing his head and he's like, what the heck? And he looks and like this horn starts growing out of his head.
So they start as little nubs or do they start like kind of like Hellboy's kind of broken off and then...
They're like nubs and then they get longer. Like throughout the trailer they get longer and longer. And then...
So are they visibly growing? Are these things that just, like, one day wakes up, they're a little bit bigger than the next day? Or
I have no clue about that. All I know is that the first morning that he wakes up, he rubs his head and he's like, what the heck? He looks in the mirror and then it's like, shh. And so, yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome for an audio podcast. It's like, shh.
He placed his thumb and index finger up to his forehead and then with his other thumb and index finger indicated growth from the other thumb and index finger from the region of that part of his forehead, which was right along the hairline. There.
All right. All I know is that...
And made a psst sound for that to happen.
All right. So Daniel Radcliffe is being blamed for murdering his girlfriend and stuff, and it seems to be that he starts to get these supernatural powers where he's like being hounded by these reporters. And he's like, you know what? Fight each other. The person who wins gets to have an interview with me. And then they all start fighting each other. Like, they're beating each other with their microphones and cameras. And you're like, what the heck just happened?
A media frenzy.
Yeah. Like
a violent media frenzy to get to the new celeb du jour.
Pretty much.
That could be cool.
Yeah. And so he does that. And... then he has, like, this snake. All of a sudden, like, there's this big snake. So, it may be something involving the devil. He is the devil. I don't know.
Well, now, you're casting aspersions on snakes there. Snakes do not have to necessarily be evil.
But Bible, it's evil.
This is a Bible story now?
Well, if it's the devil, there's horns,
I'm not saying it's the devil. I'm just saying.
Whatever.
Maybe it's other people's projections making him grow these horns, and they're really the evil ones.
That would be awesome. I would totally see that movie. What's it called?
You want to see it anyway.
I do, but it's going to end up, like, being sex-filled.
Well, here's the question. Are you curious enough about it to go and read Joe Hill's book before the movie comes out?
Yes. And I feel like... if this movie were... I haven't even seen the movie, so I could be totally wrong about this. But just from the trailer, if this trailer was to be nominated for an Oscar, for some unknown reason, I feel like Daniel Radcliffe would have a chance as Best Actor. Because he's like un-American? He's un-British. He is American. He seems to be, like, putting his heart and soul in this, just begging to go away from being Harry Potter, but I'm still going to call him Harry Potter. Anyway, moving on. Hellboy 3 was announced, of course.
I want to see the Academy Awards where they've got Oscars for Best Movie Trailer. Because, you could cut down a really crappy movie into a kick-ass trailer.
Transformers 2 Revenge of the Fallen?
And there should be some kind of scale for the deficit that closes. Like, the best trailer for the worst movie, and that trailer gets the Oscar.
Technically, the Rooster Teeth podcast used to, for their podcast awards, they used to have a best trailer nomination.
Oh, so that's not very original at all, is it?
Well, they stopped doing it. We can steal it from them.
But I want to see the Academy Awards do
I know, that'd be awesome. That'd be cool.
Because they would have, like, a scientific evaluation of... Because, they don't just nominate crap for any of that.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes deserves an Oscar.
When they pick the best movie, it is the best movie.
No. That'd be like saying Teen Choice Awards best movie is for all teams around and best actors for all teams around. And
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You're out of touch with your generation.
They all deserve to go to an island called Swagville. And I can just stay here with all the old people and talk.
I have no idea what that means, so...
You don't know
the
what
next
swag
thing...
means. I forgot about that. Okay, so do you know something that you can talk about?
No, I know nothing about what's going on.
All right, Mockingjay.
Oh, well, I know that another picture of Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill have been released.
I have not seen the picture with both of them. I have seen the entire suit, though. They had the suit on display in Comic-Con.
Which?
Of Batman. No one cares about Superman. So...
Harsh.
Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns Batman.
Yeah, I did see the suit.
It just wasn't... It's not blue. It's black and gray.
It's black and gray.
So it's not exactly Frank Miller's, but in terms of design, it is.
And I haven't gotten a good enough look at it to see if it's putty armor like, from Tim Burton on, or if it's... more of a fabric.
It's more of a fabric. It's like, have you seen anything from the Arkham Asylum games?
Advertisements.
But you've seen the suit?
And whatever cases you've left laying around the floor that I've stepped on.
But you've seen the suit?
Yeah. Well, I've seen many incarnations of Batman's suit, and I recognize
it's
this
like
one
a
with the big bat that takes up the entire chest.
This seems to be like a semi-armor, semi-fabric. It's more fabric than armor, but I wouldn't be surprised if in the movie or in the next movie with Batman or whatever, if they did end up adding on armor to it, but like only little bits, like on his shoulders and on his fists.
Now, it doesn't look... It looks like it's just more of a conventional suit and not a piece of various technologies pieced together, like in
Iron Man?
Christian Bale's thing, where the ears and he can see video and stuff, and he can receive reception.
I'm sure he could totally still do that, because it's Batman.
It doesn't look like it, because people were complaining about how little the ears are, which it doesn't bother me.
I like that more, because it's like, if you got like the foot tall things like from the Long Halloween or whatever, it's like, oh, ow, my head. My entire cowl has been ripped off.
Again, for the podcast audience, he mimed walking into a low-hanging doorway or something like that, hitting bat ears first.
Yeah, like if the ears would hit like every doorway, and his cowl would come off, and they're like, oh, hey, it's Bruce Wayne. It's stupid. I like the Frank Miller suit, because Dark Knight Returns to me is one of the best Batman things, except for the Dark Knight. Like, they're on par equally.
The Dark Knight was Frank Miller's Batman.
The Dark Knight, as in the movie.
Oh.
I'm done. Anyway,
Okay, so but there hasn't been any actual footage or anything.
I
fell for a fan-made trailer. It's an official trailer, and I looked at it, and it was cuts from some of their other movies and stuff, and it was actually the scenes with Batman were Christian Bale. It was not Ben Affleck. But it was a really cool trailer.
I thought you were going to talk about the one where...
No, but it had Jesse Eisenberg in it, and I guess he's played a similar sort of vile character, that a white-collar sort of dude.
I thought you were going to talk about the fan trailer where Batman is standing in the Batcave, and all across all the screens in the Batcave is the "You Are Not Alone" message from Man of Steel, and it's just playing, and then like it's like "You are not alone," and then it's like Kal-El. Sorry, I was trying to think of some name to say and I couldn't for some reason. I was like, Superman, Zod. Wait, no, Kal-El. There we go. And then it like pans to Batman's face, and it's like a fan trailer. I'm like, that could have worked as just a regular trailer, but I did see the leaked actual trailer from Comic-Con though.
So that one's not real either?
No.
Because that sounds good. Like he knows. See, again, Batman would find out that stuff.
But from Comic-Con, I actually saw the trailer from Comic-Con, where it's Batman in this like mecha suit kind of thing, like in Dark Knight Returns at the end of it, and it's got blue lit up eyes.
Kryptonite knuckles.
I don't think he has kryptonite knuckles, but he's like standing there, and the big bat signal's in the clouds, and it's like the one on his chest. It's like a fat one, and it's like kind of just sitting there in all these raining clouds, and then like up comes Superman, and then his eyes start turning red, like in the Man of Steel movie. Whenever he starts to use his laser beams, and that's where, and then it cuts back to Batman, and he smiles, and then it just ends.
Heat vision.
What did I say?
Laser beams. Heat vision.
I think the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla could actually shoot laser beams out of his eyes.
Was the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla at Comic-Con? Yes or no? It's a yes or no question.
I guarantee there was at least one copy
Was
of the
it
DVD.
a featured panel? No.
Godzilla was technically
Hanna-Barbera Godzilla, was it a featured panel?
No. All right.
Moving on.
Chop
boy.
So we've rambled about. What have we rambled about? Anyway, Mockingjay came out. With a trailer.
Okay, yeah, do that. And then I got one more thing.
I
guess I saw more than I thought.
Shut up. Mockingjay was
a lesson for you kids out there: never speak to your parents the way this one does.
It was actually a trailer this time with footage from the movie. It wasn't like those propaganda trailers where it's like the Capital TV thing and then it's like intercepted by...
Right, you actually see Katniss in this.
Yeah, like Katniss is all going into this war-torn area of one of the districts, and they're like, "Are you gonna fight with us?" And she's like, "Yeah." Anyway, I'm really looking forward to the movie. Anyway, you.
Yeah, me too. I haven't seen that. I've just seen the propaganda trailer with the president's note.
What were you gonna say?
I gotcha. The cast of Firefly has gotten together, and they're doing the voices for a game.
Oh, I already knew about the online game.
I
didn't know that was Comic-Con, though, so never mind.
I thought it was Comic-Con.
I guess I'm wrong. I could.
It was the only ones that weren't. I don't think Marina Baccarat was there, and I don't think Lawrence Fishburne's wife was there.
Keep on talking.
But it was Jane, the captain, Mal, Wash. So this would have to take place before the events of the movie, I guess, if Wash was part of that. Spoiler for Serenity. But
it's an online game. No one cares.
It's an online game. No one cares. But their voices will be part of that. They were united in a common cause to make that online game maybe something to care a little bit about.
Well, I actually care about the game. I'm talking about no one cares about continuity.
Complete sentences would help get those thoughts across.
I have complete sentences in my thoughts.
All right, so was there any Guillermo del Toro news?
Man, I'm saving that for last. All the legendary picture stuff.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, is there anything else worth talking about before that?
Yes. Yes.
Who let that damn poodle in here? Get it out of here.
Thank you. Get out of here, I said. So
It's a lot of blue.
Shut up. Age of Ultron. All these posters had been like slowly revealed, like with the first Avengers, and so it's like this massive paint spread thing. It's got got this wave of Ultron's minions and robots.
You've got Avengers kicking ass in every direction.
It's got the Hulk being taken over by all of them, and he's like throwing them about in the in his part of the poster.
You got Black Widow reared back, getting ready to give
She
up.
has this like electric shock bracelets now.
I won't finish that sentence.
Good. Captain America's punching him. Hawkeye is stabbing him in the eye, and Iron Man is shooting a couple like right into the head, and then off in the back there's this. Oh, and then there's Quicksilver running through all of them.
Yeah, Quicksilver and then his sister.
Scarlet Witch, and she's like destroying a couple, and then far away in the back there's this like floating thing with like a yellow-green cape.
I could not make out a color, but yes, there is a being in the back way background, floating in the air,
Which
with his
could-
back to the camera.
Which could totally be Vision.
That might be
It's gotta be. I can't think of any others. Who else could it be?
Nova. But I don't remember Nova having
doesn't
a cape.
have a cape.
Yeah, so I don't remember Vision having a cape.
He does.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. I don't remember Vision that well.
Get owned, scrub. Anyway. He's my father. I still love him. Don't worry. So yeah.
He's my son. I know where to hide the body.
So yeah, the Vision would be... Get back here. The Vision would be awesome for Avengers, Age of Ultron. And... Ah, God!
Age of Ultron. So the story is that possibly Jarvis is going to become Vision, right? So Paul Bettany is going to go from being the voice of Jarvis to being Vision.
It wouldn't surprise me. Though it wouldn't surprise me if...
Well, it shouldn't be a surprise. I think that's what they've announced.
It wouldn't... I don't think they've announced anything when it comes to Vision. That's why no one knows if that's
They
Vision
have
or not.
Paul Bettany.
Shh.
This isn't controversial.
I thought that was Ultron.
No, Ultron is James Spader.
I thought that was Thanos.
No, Thanos isn't in this. You just told me
But
that.
Thanos has an actor.
Yeah, but it's not...
I think Thanos...
James
I think
Spader-
Ron Perlman would be awesome as Thanos. Just saying, but he's not.
Ron Perlman? Yeah, right. You throw Ron Perlman in. He is a good movie helper.
He makes any bad movie good.
Well, he's always good in whatever he's in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of those kind of actors. What's the other one that's like...
Another one is Jeff Goldblum.
Oh,
Doesn't
yeah,
matter
Jeff
what
Goldblum.
he's in. He's, like Greg Proops said, he's acting in a better movie than everybody else is appearing in.
Keep on talking.
So, yeah. I totally forgot what we were talking about.
We were talking about what's-his-face?
Thanks.
Avengers,
Okay, so
Age of
what's-his-face was going to be this thing in a rumor of a talked-about movie.
Oh, man, what was that movie? Anyway. Shut up. You don't see this.
No, you are just suddenly going to... Here, let me rub your head, and you'll think of all the things that this guy has done.
Alright, so... We were talking about Avengers, too. I don't
Yes.
remember what exactly, but...
Because Thanos is not going to be in it.
No.
James Spader is going to be the voice of Ultron.
Anyway, it wouldn't surprise me if Vision was in this movie, though,
Paul Bettany
because...
is... It's been said.
Okay, good. Whatever. I don't
written.
care. I'm talking about the characters now. Okay, it wouldn't surprise me if the Vision was in
Vision.
it. If Vision was in it with Ultron, because if Vision is going to be Jarvis upgraded, it makes sense, because
Then it's two of Tony Stark's creations going at it.
I was going to say that I think it'd be interesting if, since Jarvis is being upgraded, he has to be split into two things. So it's like...
I wonder if that's supposed to be Ultron way in the background there.
No, he was on the cover of Entertainment Weekly.
Ultron?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was he in that panoramic?
No, but he doesn't have a cape, and he's not green. Anyway, and he doesn't
You
look
can't
human.
see
He's
any
the
colors.
exact same model as all the things that are attacking him. Attacking them. Anyway, except they're blue-faced and he's red-faced. Which is stupid. I feel like he...
Well, you have to tell them apart some way.
No, I feel like he should be red-faced and should have the same modeled head, but he should just be bigger or something. Anyway, he needs...
Maybe
I
he's
feel like-
designed so perfectly that he makes his minions designed the same way.
I'm really curious to see, like, their excuse for having thousands of these things out of nowhere.
I wonder if that's just hype for the poster.
Who knows? But, like...
Of course, they did have to
if-
take on thousands of Chitauri.
Yeah, but, like, these aren't aliens. These are creations. Anyway, but, like, if Jarvis is being upgraded, I think it'd be interesting if, like, he needs to be split because of how massive he is into two separate beings. So, like, Vision and Ultron. and like Vision is like the happy side of Jarvis, and Ultron is the upset side of Jarvis. And you can't kill one without
I would
the
say
other.
it would probably be the division. The division would probably be more
Division?
mechanical and human than happy and miserable.
Whatever. I'm saying that like it'd be interesting so where like you can't kill one without the other. What? I mean, like if one dies, the other dies also. So it's like Vision is a huge help, and he's a good guy, and blah, 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 blah. So they can't kill Ultron, and Ultron can't kill Vision, because then he dies. So what Ultron wants to do is just capture Vision and keep him locked away, and what the Avengers are going to have to end up doing is kill him, or Vision is going to
like the magical twins in Hellboy.
Yeah, or the Vision is ultimately...
they're not going to do that.
Or the Vision is ultimately going to give himself away and just die. And sacrifice him for that. And then the Easter egg credit scene is gonna be like his head like open up.
Well, if that was able to be thought of right here on this couch for this podcast, they're not going to do that. They've got something better in mind.
There are so many things that have been thought of on couches that ended up happening.
Like you?
Oh, God.
All right.
That's staying in there. Just to let you know, I'm not editing that out.
Well, we didn't edit you out, so.
God!
Moving on from Avengers, the next topic could be, with only 15 minutes left.
I said about an hour. I said 45 minutes to an hour.
That was a little bit further shorter.
Oh, too bad.
What else has happened?
I don't know. I'm trying to think, and you're distracting me. I'm
trying to think, but nothing happens.
Tusk was shown off at Comic-Con.
Okay, and Tusk is...
The exact quote for the premise of the movie is a podcaster is kidnapped and tortured physically and psychologically or mentally into becoming a walrus. And that is the exact premise from... that is a quote from someone who's seen the movie. But it has this very Misery vibe to it. Though other people are saying it also has a Human Centipede vibe to it.
Oh, God.
But,
okay,
but
I haven't
not like
seen
anus to mouth kind of Human Centipede.
That could have gone unsaid.
That's what a Human Centipede is.
I know, right. And so you can stop with just saying Human Centipede, and everybody knows that's what it is, without having to say what it is. It's just understood.
We could talk about all the scientific things that need to happen with Human Centipede and make me go into the bathroom and
Nope, we can keep talking about Walrus. Or Tusk.
Tusk.
Okay, so anyway, talk about who's involved with that.
Kevin Smith, that's all I care about.
Kevin Smith. The Kevin Smith.
The podcaster
Clerks.
Kevin Smith. Clerks.
Mallrats.
Clerks 2.
Chasing Amy.
Dogma.
Red State.
That reminded me of one of
and writer of the comic book, The Bionic Man.
He's done more than that.
He has done more than that.
He's done
a lot with comics.
He did something with Cop Out.
But I feel like Bionic Man is a classic property that it doesn't get its props.
He wrote one of the scripts for Superman Lives. And he's famous for podcasting. So he's part of the Smodcast.
He was famous before he started
podcasting.
And
he has the TV show Comic Book Ben. Which had an episode with the Bigfoot creature action figure from... oh, wait, no, I'm thinking of the other one. Never mind, Toy Hunter.
Oh.
Anyway.
All right, so Kevin Smith...
I want to see it. It intrigues me.
Podcaster has a movie about a podcaster being kidnapped and being tortured into becoming a walrus. Is this a cry for help?
Maybe.
I haven't heard any more airplane seat stories about him, so I don't know if he just stopped flying or if he trimmed down enough to be able to fit into an airline seat.
And the movie takes place in Canada.
Oh, no.
Like, it's an American that goes to Canada.
Oh.
And the crazy guy who's saved by the walrus is Canadian, and that's why he's going to Canada.
Okay, you've told me about that off mic, but you're skipping that part.
You can just tell that there's a crazy person that's torturing a guy into becoming a walrus.
But his backstory. Okay, here's
that
how.
Premise seriously.
In this story of a podcaster,
oh god,
I'm
gonna torture you into becoming a walrus. Please, no, no.
That would be funny if it's a slim actor through the whole thing, and then the last shot is him emerging from the dark as Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith with like walrus teeth. It looks very funny, actually. Also, it's very dark kind of comedy looking.
So, like a Evil Dead sort of comedy horror.
Yeah, and one of the
Evil Dead
bits,
2.
one of the bits
Army of
from
Darkness.
one of the bits from the trailer is like he's grabbing stuff to go to the person's house, and he's in Canada, and so he's like grabbing stuff, and he asks how far away is it from so wherever, and and it's like these two teenage Canadian girls, and they're like about 20 miles, and
A boot?
yeah,
Okay.
they said, and then he's like about 20 miles, and then he like walks off, and they both go, I hate American men. The actor has a pedophile mustache. It's that
So who is playing the podcaster?
I have no clue. He's like that guy that you've seen in those things, but
Steve Buscemi?
No, he's like that guy that you see.
Jason Lee?
And you always forget his name. Look, we have a computer in front of us. I can Google it.
Okay, so while he is doing that, I'm going to try to name every actor I know with a mustache. There's Clark Gable.
No, he grew a mustache for this part.
Oh.
I like that.
So he
I
is
like
an
that
actor.
poster.
Because actors will change their... Haley Joel Osment.
What?
Is that him?
No, Justin Long is playing him.
Okay.
That's the other podcaster dude.
So
he doesn't
we
look
have...
as awkward anymore, by the way.
Yeah, he does.
No, in this trail.
So Justin Long, who you might recognize as the Mac guy from the commercials with John Hodgman, where John Hodgman is the PC.
That's where I remember him from, Dodgeball.
Yeah, and Dodgeball. And if you're a Sam Raimi fan, he was in From Hell. He's got a huge body of work. But it turns out he's not just good at comedy. He's a good dramatic and horror actor, and this is going to play to all of his strengths. So Justin Long with a child molester mustache.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Here's a disturbing image.
There's a disturbing image, and he's got black teeth, and maybe they're bloody teeth. I can't really tell.
I think he's just missing teeth.
He's missing teeth, but you can see the mustache.
I think it's because this is the insane plan that the guy is going to do.
Okay, so what we're looking at now is a sort of Da Vinci sketch of what a walrus man would look like with some of his skin and bones exposed, and it's sort of an anatomy chart of what parts will have to be walrus and what parts will be man. So we've got a leg.
Both of the legs are going to have fins.
Both of the legs are going to have fins. It goes up into normal hips. It looks like one arm is a walrus flipper that it looks like it's coming straight out of his rib cage. I don't see that it's actually connected to his shoulder, and then tusks coming right out of the human head.
And that's where the name comes in. I could totally just play the trailer for you right now if you want.
No, that would not be interesting for your audience.
I would.
So if you've got the chance, go and check out the trailer for Tusk. It is available online. And make sure to see it. Support Kevin Smith.
Because we all know Kevin Smith is a big old fat man, but did you know his favorite hero is Batman? Anyway. Alright, so we're going to move on to Guillermo del Toro real quickly and just say what he's got upcoming aside from The Strain. He is going to produce The Book of Life, and Crimson Peak, which I think is the one that I heard him talk about on the IGN thing. Yes. No. Never mind.
It looks like it'll be one of his horror movies.
Maybe it is. He's got one that has ghosts coming out. I know that. And it's
Young
not The
author
Ring.
Edith Cushing. and now the screen is gone.
It's not The Ring 3D. I know that.
Don't do research with a 15-year-old that has ADHD.
No, I already
his
read it.
clicker.
I
know, but I was trying to
read it.
inform the audience.
He's gonna
So that it's not
executive
just-
produce Kung Fu Panda 3, which is coming out next year.
There's that short attention span.
Awesome! Look, Kung Fu Panda 3 is way cooler than Crimson Peak.
Well, with Guillermo del Toro producing it, yeah.
And with that cliffhanger ending of the second one. Anyway, he's going to do The Ring 3D. He's going to produce Pinocchio. And Pacific Rim 2, which is going to lead into the last 20 minutes of the podcast, where I just talk about how awesome Legendary Pictures is, and Dad does too.
Okay, so in these past couple of years, Legendary has done
Batman Dark Knight Trilogy.
Dark Knight Trilogy. We
Man
just
of
had
Steel.
got Man of Steel, which
Pacific
is
Rim.
probably the best Superman movie.
Great, now half of this video is going to be dislikes.
Well,
Anyway.
compared to all the other Superman movies, okay? I'm not saying you gotta like Superman. If you don't like Superman, you
Dude,
don't like this.
You don't know what you've started.
Yeah, I do.
No.
I do.
It's mostly original Superman fans that hate this movie.
It wasn't made for you, okay?
It
If
wasn't
you're a
made
fan,
for you.
if you're a fan of the Boy Scout Christopher Reeves movies, it's not for you. This
Go
is a
away.
character that
No one
badly
likes you.
badly needed an update, that badly needed a few layers put on him, and you got it in this movie. It's not a perfect movie. It's not the best comic book movie, but for a Superman movie, it's good. So Legendary has given us that, and
Pacific Rim.
and
Godzilla.
so now
and
what
300.
we and 300.
Both
So
of the 300s.
what we can did they do the Hellboy? No.
Yes.
They did the Hellboy movies. Okay, so we got a huge library of great stuff to watch from Legendary, and looking forward
To Pacific Rim 2. Godzilla 2. Godzilla 3.
we've got guarantees for a third one.
They said it was going to be a trilogy.
All right.
Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Which is supposed to lead to a Justice League movie.
I don't care. It's like, I don't care about the rest of the Justice League. If it's just Batman. If it's like,
Well, let's see what they do. Let's see what they
It's
do
like-
with the character. Now, it sounds the fear is that they're introducing so many characters into this movie that it's going to get bogged down. The stories will become convoluted, and it won't be a good standalone movie. That it's just going to be a launching pad with no sort of coherent direction.
now what I think is going to happen is it's going to be Batman and Superman's movie, and then there's going to be some long epic spiel done by either Batman or Superman about how there will, because of, like, if it's Batman, he'll be like, because of me and you, we will be opening up our arms to all these other heroes, and like it'll just be like he'll be.
I don't think Batman would use that phrase.
You know what I mean, though. Like all these other gifted.
Batman's not a huggy guy,
Whatever.
despite hanging out with the
like
little
he's
boy
gonna
all the
say,
time.
you and I need to start this kind of. It can be like Xavier's Home for the Gifted or School for the Gifted. Like we're gonna open up this thing for talents, for special people that are specially gifted, and.
I'm just thinking of the horror show of having Batman as a principal.
Awesome.
You might think until you're running down the hallway and getting bataranged.
Justice. Give Sally back her lunch money. And so it's either gonna be Superman or Batman, and they're gonna be like, all right, we need to foundation this thing. We'll call it the Justice League. And they're gonna be doing an epic spiel, and there's just gonna be a montage of, like, you know, what's her face? Gal Gadot. I can't say her name.
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot. There we go. That's why I was combining both her names.
Yeah,
There'll be like Gal Gadot opening up the door and, like, looking up and seeing Superman fly by and be like, yeah, I should come out of my hiding spot. And then, like, Green Lantern, and he's gonna, like, be looking at his...
I don't think Wonder Woman's gonna be the timid, hiding away kind of gal.
Whatever. It's gonna be just a montage, I guarantee, where it's like, oh, hey, there's Superman. And then, like, Green Lantern's gonna be, like... Green Lantern isn't gonna be in it. And then, what's
he is
his
or
Aquaman? Isn't. At least I don't think he is.
Oh, and the announcement for Aquaman is that Khal Drogo, Conan...
I don't care about Aquaman.
What
no
the
one
hell's
likes
his
Aquaman.
name?
I don't know. Nor do
Jason
I care.
Momoa. Jason
It's
Momoa
gonna be
is going to
like-
be playing Aquaman, which is a really... it's an interesting choice.
Or
I think
even-
he's got the chops to do it. I don't... But I'm really curious now what they're envisioning for Aquaman.
Or even better, instead of what I'm going on about right now, what they could do is just like a montage of Superman stopping by next to people and being like, we're doing this thing. I know you're Wonder Woman. Let's go. He goes down into the ocean, or Batman goes down into the ocean. They're like, here's my card. And they go away. And
Here's my waterproof card.
shut up. And, like, then there's Cyborg, where it's
I
like,
hope
he's
it's
working
something.
out in a gym, and, like, Bruce Wayne walks up and he's like, I'm Batman. Join me. And then walks away. And
Oh, God, I hope it's something better than that.
I'm not saying that's exactly word for word what's going to happen. I'm saying
I'm
it's going to be a
hoping-
montage at the end of the film, because it's called Dawn of Justice. It's going to be Batman and Superman for the entire film, except for the last, like, 15 minutes or whatever. It's going to be an epic spiel over, like, people stopping and going, oh, hey, it's Superman. You're like, that's going to be Wonder Woman. That's going to be Cyborg.
I think maybe the James Gordon speech from Batman Returns is going to play into this, where, you know, now that you're here, there's going to be escalation. So while they're going about their business trying to not kill each other, that these other people are going to start popping out and just play small little incidental parts, but somehow accumulate towards the end.
All right, so that's the big thing that is for comic book fans, the big thing from the Legendary panel.
So this is DC trying to catch up with Marvel Universe.
I accidentally stopped the recording.
Okay, we tried to make a smooth transition there, but it might not have happened. But
It did.
good enough.
So Pacific Rim 2 was announced a while ago, like a couple days before the Comic-Con stuff. Oh, Battle of the Five Armies also had a trailer.
Which is the third Hobbit movie.
Yeah. No one cares. That is going to be the Hobbit movie. Whenever people are like, you know, I want to watch The Hobbit, they're going to watch the last 45 minutes of Desolation of Smaug, and then they're going to watch the Battle of the Five Armies. That's what's going to end up happening. That's what I'm going to do anyway.
Okay, Karnak, what number am I thinking of?
2.
No.
Anyway, so Guillermo del Toro came out and said that Pacific Rim 2 is happening, and it's going to have a comic book series leading up to it and an animated series leading up to it, and awesome. And he said, we promise we will be bringing more Jaegers and kaiju and blah blah blah. And then I heard an interview where he said that this movie is going to be leaning a bit more to the other universe that we saw at the end of the film. We're going to learn a little bit more about that. There's going to be characters from the other universe that if they got picked up for a third movie, those characters would be explored even more. But like they're going to be like small characters that you see for some reason, and that in a third movie, that's where they hope they would be able to go. They would be able to just go full other universe.
So they'd be introduced as characters in the second movie, and if that does well, they will be main characters in a third. They'd be more of a focus.
Like, he said that the second one is going to be, like, leaning more towards the other universe with those people and stuff, but, like, with Jaegers and stuff as the main characters, and then he hopes that the third movie, if they get picked up for the third movie, would be like the Jaegers are going full into the other universe, and I guess just they're gonna terraform their planet.
Yeah, and he's always dropping the idea of a third Hellboy movie, but there's nothing on the rosters, and it looks like he's booked for projects through 2017, and Ron Perlman's not getting any younger. So
just do it animated.
They've done a couple. I'd like to see one more live action.
I'd like to see one more live action, but if you have this story and you want to get it out there, make it animated. Do a Kickstarter, make it animated. Do a graphic novel sequel.
I don't think Guillermo del Toro is going to do a Kickstarter.
Actually, in the interview, it was with IGN people. Guillermo del Toro was like talking about how, like, you know, the problem with Hellboy 3 is that the estimated budget is 130 million, which is like Godzilla was made for 160 million. So, but like, I guess it's like whenever it's estimated, they always hope that it's gonna be like 90 million or something, and then it ends up getting up to that range. But still, I mean, anyway, and then the guy that was interviewing him was like, well, there's this thing called Kickstarter, and I would be the first to give you, how much money do you need? And he's like, 130. He's like, I would give you a solid $200. That is as high as you can donate on Kickstarter, and I would give you $200. Anyway, I would give him like 50, yeah. 50 is an achievable number for me. So yeah, Pacific Rim 2 is gonna be awesome. We just know it is. Like,
Guillermo does good.
Like, even if everything else about the movie is awful, you can guarantee that the designs of the Jaegers will be cool, and the designs of the monsters will be cool, and the fight scenes will be awesome. Like, physics can be denied all you want in that movie. They were still awesome.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Well, and he designs things with a lot of intention behind them, and you know, pays the colors of them mean something, the movements of them mean something, the yes.
Go on. I remembered another movie.
Yeah, there's not a throwaway detail in Guillermo del Toro's world.
Skull Island.
Oh my God! You just blew it out.
Skull Island.
Here's
has been
the
announced.
big one. Now we started off talking about ape.
That's not the big one.
Name me a bigger fucking monkey.
And we didn't start out talking about apes on this one.
Oh,
that was the review.
Okay, I'm out of continuity here. The other podcast was we started off.
That wasn't a podcast. That was.
That's right. We started this off about sexual harassment, and now we're on a huge gorilla. Go on.
Am I the only one that's kind of slightly interested to see what would happen if we combined both of those concepts into one movie? I'm not the only one?
You are the only one.
Oh.
But you're young. You'll grow out of this. It's a phase.
Well, technically King Kong is a movie about an ape sexually harassing another woman. If you go by the original. And even then in the new one.
Well, that is sort of the theme.
So I already got the movie I wanted.
Wow. You tied that together nicely.
So shut up.
All right. Well, this podcast is going to with a big, bright bow on it.
No, we're going to go a bit longer than
an hour. Big, bright sexual harassment bow.
Anyway, but Skull Island, it is going to be written by Max Bronstein.
You keep pushing the end off.
I still need
You said 45 minutes.
I still need to talk about Godzilla. Max Bronstein, who wrote Godzilla, will be writing this, which supports everyone's wishes that this is basically Legendary's Phase 1. Where there's going to be King Kong, and there's going to be the Godzilla movies, and then there's going to be a King Kong versus Godzilla, and since there's multiple universes in Pacific Rim, they might find a universe that leads into those.
King Kong is going to have to be remarkably bigger than
it wouldn't surprise
any other time.
It wouldn't surprise me if they bumped up his size.
Or if maybe he battles a tiny Godzilla.
This isn't... You mean if Godzilla battled a tiny King Kong?
No. If King Kong is the size that he's traditionally is, but the Godzilla that he's got to battle is actually a smaller Godzilla than what Godzilla normally is.
No one wants to see that. No one wants to see a tiny Godzilla against a regular King Kong.
Nobody wants to see Godzilla step on a tiny little monkey.
Exactly. We want to see a giant King Kong fighting Godzilla, and he's an ape. He's a gorilla. He ain't got a tail, so he's a monkey. I mean, ape. Sorry. I messed up. So... what they said from it is that it's like Skull Island. So that makes me think that it's not going to be a King Kong movie where it's like... It's not going to be a remake of King Kong where it's like he steals the girl and he goes to New York and he dies. I think it's going to be like a movie...
People showing up to a freaky island with big monsters on it.
Yeah, and King Kong is going to be like the watchful protector of these, like, humans. Like, they will, like, and they will be going around and there will be, like, a T-Rex that attacks them, and then, out of nowhere, King Kong comes in and stops it from killing them. And they're like, oh, hey, this ape is like a protector of the island or something. He's like a restorer of balance. Max Bronstein, Godzilla's the restorer of balance in Godzilla. Okay, whatever. Phase 1. I want this to be a Phase 1 movie. That'd be awesome. Alright, so, Godzilla news.
Godzilla news.
Godzilla. Do you want to say it?
It's all you, man.
No, because you need to talk about this, too. So, with 2 more movies announced a couple weeks after the first one was released, they have finally said some new details of what may be in these sequels. They have announced that they have bought the rights to Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah. And then they showed a video that showed off the silhouettes of each and every one of them. Rodan looks like Rodan, apparently. Mothra has a slimmer body, like a regular moth, but then has the classic Mothra wings. And then the silhouette of King Ghidorah is like the classic looking wings, and then the heads look like the outlines of Smaug's. So,
Smaug, the dragon from the Hobbit movies.
So, I'm just slightly a little bit pumped. Just a little bit. Little bit.
Yeah, I can't tell.
It's gonna be awesome.
It would be really cool if you were into Godzilla.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, I'm totally not. But the thing that I'm interested in is that they didn't say whether or not all 3 of these creatures will be used in one movie, or if it's gonna be like Mothra and Rodan is in the second one, and then the third one is just gonna be Ghidorah. But if the second one ends up being... If they ended up using all of them, they could do just a total remake of Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, which was the first movie Ghidorah was introduced in. And so what they could end up doing is having Godzilla fighting Rodan for like the first act and part of the second act, and then Mothra is introduced, and then Mothra dies or something, and then her babies come in. Because you need to introduce the whole baby thing.
You.
What?
Babies.
They spit silk. It's awesome. Anyway, and then it will be like Ghidorah was also introduced and teased from the beginning of the movie, and then they all fight him. I had to cut it here because I go a bit insane in a little bit, and so I'm gonna separate that to a different video to keep this under an hour long, or at least an hour and 10 minutes long. And go check that out. Like this video if you enjoyed, and click subscribe to see more.